Today I'll be grading some of the top transfer portal quarterback moves. First up, former UCF and Oklahoma quarterback Dillon Gabriel transferring to Oregon. Dillon Gabriel is a solid replacement for Bo Nix. He can do pretty much everything that Bo Nix did last year at Oregon, but just not at such a high level. But at Oregon, Dillon Gabriel will be playing with more offensive talent that he played with at both UCF and Oklahoma. So maybe, just like guys like Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr., being in a new system with better weapons could bring out the best in Dillon Gabriel. However, unlike Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix, Dillon Gabriel is just a one-year rental, so it could take him up into the season to mesh with a lot of his teammates. Therefore, I give this move a B+. Next up is Dante Moore, transferring from UCLA to Oregon. Dillon Gabriel is the perfect mentor for Dante Moore. Not only do they have a similar skill set, they're so far apart in age and development that Dillon Gabriel wouldn't be threatened to teach Dante Moore everything that he knows. Dillon Gabriel has, I believe, 4 or 5 years of college experience to teach Dante Moore, and Dante Moore still is only about 18 or 19, and he still has that 5-star ceiling. This relationship between Oregon and Dante Moore may just be a match made in heaven, as how often in this new landscape of college football did we get a player who wants to sit and develop, who's patient? I think we can all agree that Dante Moore got thrown out onto the field way too soon last year by Chip Kelly. So this way, he can develop behind an experienced quarterback and can serve as depth for a team that's a national title contender. I give this move an A+. Next up is Will Howard, transferring from Kansas State to Ohio State. If I had to compare Will Howard to a former Ohio State quarterback, I would compare him to Kenny Guyton. If you don't remember him, he had a very live arm and had tons of mobility, but he just didn't do it at that extremely high level. Will Howard is a very good athlete who can push the ball downfield. Watching his tape, I actually think that he's a more experienced version of Devin Brown. Will Howard is a one-year rental, and he has tons of expectations coming into Columbus. But he's ultra competitive, which is good because he still has to beat out Devin Brown for the starting job. I do have a concern due to the fact that he was benched a couple times in the last few seasons at Kansas State. But I respect the fact that he didn't run from competition and he stuck it out there. I give this move a B+. Next up is Kyle McCord, transferring from Ohio State to Syracuse. I think that this is the perfect fit for Kyle McCord and Syracuse. This is the perfect low expectation spot that Kyle McCord can thrive in. At Ohio State, I think that some of his biggest on-field flaws were due to him just being so nervous and not having confidence. And to be fair, it's hard not to be nervous when you have a whole city, the biggest fan base in college football, constantly on your back every time you make one little mistake. And for Syracuse, they're getting an experienced Power 5 quarterback who played for one of the best teams in the country last year and had to manage that. That is the best level up that Syracuse could possibly look for in a quarterback. And with this move, we'll be able to see how good Kyle McCord really is, because he won't be playing with the level of talent that he played with at Ohio State that was able to cover up some of his flaws, but he won't be playing with nearly as much expectation, so maybe he can let loose. I'll grade this move an A. Next up is Malachi Nelson, transferring from USC to Boise State. For Boise State, this is an A+ grade because they just landed a former 5-star quarterback, which doesn't really happen to Boise State. They landed a quarterback that QB guru Lincoln Riley saw fit to be the heir to the throne of Caleb Williams. And it didn't really work out that way, but Malachi Nelson still has a ton of potential. On Malachi Nelson's end, this is an F grade. He just left quarterback development heaven, being at USC under Lincoln Riley, to go to Boise State, a program who has less quarterback prestige than Blue Mountain State. But I will say that Nelson can start immediately and play against weaker competition and build that confidence back up. So overall, I'll give this grade a C. And last up, DJ Uiagalelei, former Clemson and now Oregon State quarterback, transferring to Florida State. This is a great win-now fit for Florida State. And also, DJU has 4 years of college experience that he can pass on to Luke Kromenhoek. Although DJU could develop well under Mike Norvell, similarly as Jordan Travis, I do think that another year with Jonathan Smith would have benefited him. I also thought that he could have been a great fit at Oregon. But overall, I'll give this grade a B-. Make sure you guys like the video and leave a comment, and also subscribe for more college football content.